another episode of EV Riders. This time we're at Daytona Bike Week, so if you hear motorcycles in the background, if the audio's a little rough, hey, it's Bike Week. But I am so excited to have the American CEO of Energica, or at least its American operation. Now, I've been practicing his name, but I'm so afraid I'm going to get it wrong. I want you to pronounce your first and last name for me.
Hello everybody, my name is Stefano. So Stefano Benatti, I'm the CEO of Energica Incorporated, the US subsidiary of the Italian manufacturer of electric motorcycles. Thank you for being here.
The audio conditions were quite challenging at the Daytona International Speedway. At times we could barely hear each other over the roar of the bikes, but we powered through. Stefano started with a brief history of Energica.
Energica started as a racing team and was part of CRP. CRP is a prototyping and machining company with 50 years of experience with NASCAR and Formula One. Energica was started as a concept from the entrepreneurial vision of our founder, the Cevolini family. In 2009, they decided to race and they opened the ECRP project. They developed a bike called ECRP 1.4. They raced in the 50X GP, the category at that time. And then in 2014, they decided to make a street legal version. Street legal version, Energica was incorporated. Then 4 years of Moto E, and right now, thanks to the cooperation with the Title Cycle Racing, we are right now in Daytona racing in the Super Hooligans together with the gasoline and us, the only electric ones.
And that brings us to Energica's current lineup, which includes the recently introduced Experia EV Sport Touring motorcycle.
Sport Touring is the segment that is growing the most, and we wanted to have a motorcycle to fit that requirement. So Energica started, as I said before, as a racing team. So we are used to deal with high power, quickest charging time, high voltage. We wanted a new platform for embracing properly a sport touring. So we needed to change the frame. We needed to have a wider handlebar. So then the Experia is a completely new project, and we changed battery, motor, inverter. Everything is brand new, but it's still an Energica with an outstanding torque. The longest range, thanks to the biggest battery available in the market right now, so 22.5 kWh battery, and still the only bike that right now is available with all the three charging options, so the level 1, level 2, and the DC fast charge as a standard.
And why do you think that your competition hasn't been able to match that? Because you are the only ones right now that can do level 3 and level 2 and a 22.5 kilowatt.
Well, for us is like a necessity, because as I said, we started as a racing team, so we are used to have a high voltage, big battery, high power motor. When you have that kind of, let's say, requirement, you need to carry you need to charge quickly, otherwise your friend is going to wait for you. Yeah. So of course, big battery is good for the range, but comes also with the problem of the charging time. Having the DC fast charge on board was mandatory. Then of course we realize that in the garage, each one of us has a level 1 or a level 2. Yeah. So hey, we need, when we are on the road with our friends, we share the same passion of all the gasoline bikers. We want to charge quicker, so the DC fast charge is the only option. When we are at home, overnight, you charge with a level 1, level 2, whatever you have in the garage.
And you've been innovating at a very fast clip. If I look at your EVA from 2019 and I compare it to your Experia, in my opinion, this is heads and tails above the pre-Ribelles. And given how fast you're innovating, is there anything that we should expect in the next year or two that even goes a bit higher?
No. In general, our company has the mission to make the best bike ever. Every day we try to do one step forward. So, of course, there will be a new Energica somewhere or a new feature. Yes, it will happen. What our competitors can do? Well, we know that the competition is always moving forward. This is why we have, being a small manufacturer, to try to innovate always. This is what we have to do.
Tell me a little bit about the dealer expansion you have going on.
Last
in the
year,
United
in
States.
2022, Energica in the USA, we moved from 11 dealers to 24. It was a huge increase of our dealer network. We are still growing and pushing to do another round of dealer expansion in the US, the second part of this year.
Yeah, your customers are so passionate, and I know there's a lot of people that are fans of Energica, but they live 100, 200, maybe more miles from one of the existing dealers. To somebody that might want an Energica but doesn't live within 100 miles, is it something you feel they can get, or do they need to wait for a bigger
Look,
expansion?
I understand the concern of every customer. We understand that if they are far from the closest dealer, we suggest and we recommend a local motorcycle shop. We like to be introduced to them in order that we can cooperate and provide all the information that is selected the workshop can do, and then we are glad to provide them with the workshop manual, the information, in order that the job, whatever it is, can be performed well. Of course, it requires a little bit of extra work, but we understand the responsibility and we are trying to fill the gap in this transition during which we are trying to spend.
So to use myself as an example, there's no Energica dealer yet in my city.
Nice.
But to your point, let's say, and of course we don't expect any issues with an Energica, but let's say that 1 in 1,000 that a circuit board were to go bad.
Yeah.
Would a private shop be able to do the swap?
It depends. If it's just a swap of an electronic card, something that is safe, yes, we are pleased to do it. We provide, as I said, the workshop manual, the parts, and then we like to be informed, of course, because we have the duty to check that everything has been processed and done according to the state of the art. If it's something, of course, that is deep, maybe a battery issue, or something that might involve certain training and specific tools for dealing with high voltage, we recall the bike, and we have some selected and trained dealer center around the nation that can assist. So maybe in San Francisco where we are, maybe in Texas, maybe on the East Coast, it depends. So we arrange this with our service team.
Okay. And what haven't I asked you today that you'd like to talk about?
Well, today was a special day, so a lot of emotion here in Daytona. Stefano Mesa, our rider, the rider of the Tiger Cycle Racing team, raced our EVA Ribelle, and he finished 7th in the first race of this weekend in the Super Hooligans class. Outstanding performance.
Mesa also put in an even more impressive 5th place performance in another of the Super Hooligan National Championship Series in Daytona.
Daytona is the most challenging environment for an electric vehicle because the banks are never any straight line, like 40-second or open throttle, is a lot of heat and range then doesn't go. So we were very concerned. Also, we are trailblazers. We have never tested before in Daytona, so we have no references, no telemetry data to do a match. It was quite stressful, but seeing the bike after the dramatic race for us, finish 7th, was outstanding. And it's still is the platform that we use for our legacy model, so it's our EVA Ribelle. We try to have a model for each one of our customers.
All right, well, I really appreciate the time that you've given me today.
Thank you.
On the EVRider.tv website and EV Rider YouTube channel, you'll find more Energica coverage, including a road test of the Experia. And coming next week on EV Rider, look for more coverage from our Amelia Island Concord d'Elegance series. This time we'll be looking at Cadillac's Celestiq, along with Buick's Wildcat EV concept. The idea that EVs are actually starting to race here in Daytona, that's pretty darn exciting. And Bike Week itself, it's still a blast. I'd recommend Bike Week to anyone. It's always a lot of fun. And if you've enjoyed this episode of EV Rider, please give it a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can bring you more adventures in EV motorcycling and all types of EVs.